in the history of mankind, I don't think. But we all make that little paper gasket out of toilet paper and try to do what we can with it. We're so backwards in the things we're afraid of. And I'm not minimizing coronavirus in the States. I know it's seems to be an actual problem there.
It's retarded. I'm sorry if that offends anybody. It's stupid, okay? Because the people that are taking all these precautions, and I mean, just the hoarding that is going on because of it. Okay, we know for a fact that the coronavirus affects mainly the elderly and the younger children and people with suppressed immune systems. At the most, you're going to get like a cold from it. And they're saying, what is it? What is the number right now of people who have actually died from it?
The last I heard, I think, was around 3,000. Okay,
what about the 2.5 million people that die every year from influenza just in the United States?
Yeah, over 19,000 this year so far, and we're in the beginning of March.
There's no vaccine for it. Okay, have you been on the internet? If they create a vaccine, 75% of y'all asses ain't going to take it.
Yeah, that's true too. The one that bothers me is look at the people worldwide. If you're conscious of what's going on around the world, how many people die of starvation every single day that don't make the news?
So here we go. Yeah, Ebola. There's a big one. We've had 2 Ebola outbreaks that went nowhere.
But they're not sexy, and they don't...
It's basically the same scare that we had with SARS. Yep. The swine flu, and then we had there was another one that came.
The avian bird flu.
Yeah. MERS. There was SARS, MERS, the swine flu, the bird flu. Y2K was going to kill us all at one point.
Oh, I went to bed that night.
I didn't. I went out and did coke.
I think at one point Tom Arnold and Roseanne were going to eat us all. There's always something. Every year, and I heard this great conspiracy theory, and I haven't really looked into it too deeply, that every election year in the States, there's a new virus to be afraid of.
I discovered that.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's always something. Anytime there's an election, there's something to tell you, hey, look over here.
Yeah.
Well, of course, especially now with your elections are exciting. They're very entertaining for us up here.
No, they're not.
Oh, they are. Come on. It's the most exciting things on the fucking planet.
Not necessarily. Because I'm the outcast in my society around here.
I was just about to ask. Are you well, I won't ask who you vote for, but
I'll go ahead and tell you that the guy is a lying asshole and does not fit to be holding the office of presidency. I'll say that. I don't care if it pisses anybody off. If you can honestly tell me that your evangelical views support this guy, there's something wrong with your belief system here, man.
Wow. Very nice. I didn't put it quite so politely on the last episode of the show.
Somebody who touts, grab him by the puss.
Thank you. How has that been forgotten?
It hasn't.
It hasn't, but it's like, but he was placed here by God. And it's like, really? He's also cheated on every wife he's had. Matter of fact, the kid, Barron, and I'm going to go ahead and say this right now to anybody that's out there that's dogging on the Trump family or something, leave the kid out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
12-year-old kid, leave him alone. But he cheated on her with a porn star while she was pregnant with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this is the guy you want to lead the country. We just had a guy that spent 8 years in office with nothing that came up that could be pinned to him like that controversial. No. Other than maybe a few policies here and there.
My favorite thing that comes again. This is my love-hate relationship with America. The wall is hands down the greatest thing in the world. Everybody hates Trump for the wall idea when it was Obama's plan, and it was Obama's idea to come up with it. I love that about America. That's just amazing. Obama says that people fucking stood up and howled and cheered, thought it was the greatest idea in the world. Trump comes out, calls a bunch of Mexican, a bunch of rapists and drug dealers, and says we're going to put the same wall up, and everybody loses their fucking minds.
I think it's the way it's said. Obama, he had just a way of... he really didn't say very much in 8 years. It was just the way he said it. We all went, yeah, that sounds great. That
he
makes
spoke
sense.
very eloquently.
Oh, absolutely.
When he spoke, you sat up and you listened because he had something to say. When this idiot gets up and speaks, my kid who was at the time in junior high school was like, he sounds like a fourth grader.
I heard at one point that 4% of what he says is true.
I think there's a website you can actually go to that is running has a running tally on how many lies he says on a daily basis, and I can't remember the last time I looked at it. It was up to like 12,000 lies.
That is
since
amazing.
He's in office. And right now there was another website that's doing a tally on how much his golf trips have cost the American taxpayers. His golf trips have cost the American taxpayers more than it has cost them to pay every president we've ever had in history.
Isn't it it's something like $600 a day for the Secret Service hotel rooms?
It's millions.
Yeah, but
I have the live number right now.
Go for it.
Oh, you're looking at it?
Donald Trump has said 5,276 false things as U.S. president.
Since we've been on this podcast.
Since he took his first dump this morning.
I'm surprised no one's brought up that he was in the Little Rascals movie. The reboot of the Little Rascals that came out late 90s, maybe 96-ish. They did a Little Rascals movie, and he's in it. He doesn't play Donald Trump, though. He plays someone else, and no one's brought that up.
I didn't know that. No, everybody just talks about the Home Alone movie, the second one.
Yeah, I've got nothing for the man. At first, and I'll be honest, because I'm one of these type of people that doesn't necessarily fall politically to the right, politically to the left. I'm kind of in the middle. And when he announced, because he's announced it every year for the past 20 years, I'm going to run for president. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I got a hold of one of his books, and I read it. And then I found out he actually didn't write it. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then he came out and said, I'm going to run for president this year. And I was like, okay, cool, maybe. And then he came down that escalator for his official announcement. And I watched the news that night. I'll be honest. I watched the news that night. My wife and I sat there and was like, all right, maybe that's what this country needs. We need somebody with some business savvy. I mean, yeah, he went bankrupt, but he built himself back up. And then it was like the next day, his speech, Mexicans and rapists and drug dealers, and my wife and I both looked at each other. But he's gonna get hurt.
I think
he's gonna get elected.
Do you remember the Eddie Murphy joke from Delirious when he's talking about, I'm gonna go vote for him? No, I'm gonna vote for him, and they put in the check and laugh and walk away, and then the next morning they go, he fucking won?
Yeah. This is why you don't drink before you vote.
So is Bernie, or as Gord calls him, Joe Biden, is one of them the Great White Hope, do you think?
Honestly, I don't know, because I've checked out of media and the news and stuff for about 6 months now.
Oh, that's a good way to be.
Because my reason behind it was because I'm not one of these that just watches one news source. No. Because I've got a monitor here, monitor there, and when I'm doing stuff, I'll have like 4 or 5 different stations up and going so I can verify what one says with another one. Yeah. And most of my news that I do actually get comes through like the BBC or something like that, because or through Canada, because you guys are actually going to be, you know what these guys are doing right now. And so listening to that, but it got to the point where I was angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like to be angry. And friends that would be spouting off online, I would correct them. I'd fact check them. I'd give them the stuff. I've lost so many friends on Facebook. I used to have like thousands of friends, and it's like I'm down into like the 700s now.
Yeah,
since because so many people have jump ship. One of them, one of the individuals, I'm not going to say his name, one of the individuals, he and I got into it online because of something that Trump said about banning Muslims, and then he started in on the LGBT community and all this stuff, and I was defending the stance. saying these particular instances, it was not somebody of Arab descent or something that did this. These were homegrown terrorists and all this and that. And then I got the fuck yous. You must like the gays because you're gay or one of your kids is gay and all that. And then next thing I know, next morning I wake up and I've been banned and blocked, and half my posts have been reported by this same person.
Wow. I've suffered quite a bit of that myself. Gord, not so much, I don't think, because he's actually good looking and popular. I'm just, I'm quite different from you, Mike, in that I love being angry. That's what keeps me going every day, is being angry. I do the same thing as you. I don't trust a lot of mainstream media because it's bought and paid for. So I try to research as extensively as I can before I report on something, especially on this show, because we do have thousands of listeners who actually pay attention to what I say, and when I say something wrong, I'm informed of it quite quickly. But do you feel? Let me ask, just podcaster to podcaster, do you feel a responsibility to research what you're saying, to be truthful, or do you just think it's not really? You're not a media person. It's not your job to worry about that. Or do you not even involve yourself in it?
Yes, I do feel the responsibility to research things, and I do research a lot of stuff. And one prime example was I actually got called out on something because it was an episode I did on the USS Nimitz and the encounter that they had over the ocean and stuff. And we were talking about something, and I was like, we got to talking about radio waves and how they travel through space, and I misquoted something. And it's like the next day I looked in my comments section and was like, it's not that you quoted it wrong. You were way too much. And I'm like, whoa, bro. Hey, sorry, man. I was just talking off the cuff. So now it's like, let me double check that. I'll do it while we're on air.
Oh, absolutely. Gord's good for that as well. He'll look things up as we. So. Where was I going with that?
Responsibility to report actual facts.
Yeah. Now that's something I think podcasters seem to take more seriously than most mainstream media outlets now. Do you think there's a shift in? Well, obviously not. Coronavirus proves there isn't in how people consume the news or the. Like you said, you've tuned it out for 6 months, but how are other people in the U.S. getting their information? How are they choosing who to vote for? Is it literally like CNN and Fox News, and that's what you get?
It's pretty much CNN or Fox News.
Wow!
Oh, that is horrible.
That's
crazy. You've got people over on the left that are watching CNN. You got the people over on the right that are watching Fox News and True News and all these other evangelical shows like Jim Baker and all these guys and stuff. And then over here on this side, you've got CNN pretty much. And
was it Jim Baker? Didn't he go to jail for a time?
Yes, he went to jail. He served almost 15 years, and I may be wrong on this. 15 years in prison, something like that. Got out. He's got a new show now, and he's no longer allowed to accept monetary donations for his ministry. But so now he sells food buckets.
Wow!
Oh, really?
What happened to Tammy Faye? Where did she end up?
Did she pass away? I don't know.
I thought she did.
I thought she did.
I didn't know. I haven't heard the name Jim Baker, and I didn't realize he had a new show. That is America for you. You can.
He comes out and he spouts. He is a big time Trump supporter. He flat out says if anybody tries to, he came out and said if anybody tried to impeach Donald Trump, we were going to have a revolution in this country, and God was going to smite all the homosexuals.
Wow. So is he now? Are you familiar with? Do you follow the QAnon conspiracy?
I've watched some of their stuff online. It's idiotic. It's not something I would hold very valid.
But it is taking your country by storm. Well, there's a great number of people that believe in it.